And welcome to Effective Evolution. And today we're looking at MSL 3483, 3485 MRES. And when you spend some time on this particular panorama, you eventually can't help but to notice some very interesting features. And we're going to go over that right now. We'll be looking at various areas of curiosity, such as the events and also what could be pathways, roads, paths, or whatnot. And it's just a matter of investing some time on this particular scenario. And of course, there are some implications regarding the type of civilizations that might be there, or happened in the past, or might be there presently, and might be there in the future as well, or a combination of whatnot. And it does have some ideas regarding the technology involved. So let's get right to it. And here we are.
Are familiar with MSL 3483, 3485, the Mars Science Laboratory, and credit to Mr. Neville Thompson. Now, this naked primary state of this particular panorama has what seems to be various intricate designs, and you can readily note paths or pathways, roads, buildings, and various structures, in particular some vents and other intricate structural designs. And with the introductory perspective, you can determine that there are some very linear designs here. This could be a type of road, and also some very designed patterns on the landform. Very interesting just to have a look at. And over here, these seems to be some types of vents or whatnot. The structures up here seem to be pretty interesting. And not to mention the background scenery here, which is very, very time consuming to spend some time on after your familiarity with the region gets more proficient or whatnot. And we're going to get a little closer to this scenario. In particular, we're going to look at these particular areas here. It looks very, very ornate, very intricate, very attractive, to say the least. And also, after you get more introduced to this particular panorama, you couldn't help but notice, if you look carefully, at the background behind these landforms here. And it does look like intricate walls, intricate city structures, if you use your imagination or whatnot. And that just makes this panorama that much more interesting. You can see that there are some curves and linear paths or whatnot. Very, very creative, to say the least. And with the help of the chroma hue tool, you can readily zoom in a bit more on what seems to be a pathway here. And there are intricate patterns as well at the top here. It just makes you wonder if that is natural or if it's made. by some creative planning or whatnot. And getting a bit more familiar with the dodge tool and the chroma hue tool, you get a nice shadow and light gradients here. You can see that this does seem to be an interesting pattern. And now it seems to be transforming into some type of object. Now, is that some type of machine object or some type of building architecture, or is it just a road or pathway? After a while, you must admit that you can't help but to speculate a bit more as you feel more at ease with the panorama. Now, looking at this region here, you can see what seems to be a very designed linear structure. And after some time is spent on this, you couldn't help but to reason it might be some type of vent structure or venting structure. And after we get a bit more focused on this area, you can see that it does make some sense. Now, is this part of a craft with the obfuscations and confiscations, or is it the vent system for some type of building? You can't help but to speculate on that, of course. And this is another section that's pretty much interesting too. Now, just look at this structure on this side of this particular clip. You can see how there are layered linear patterns in here, and a nice ornate decoration at the top. Now, is this a building or is it a landform? It really makes you wonder after a while, and there are more interesting designs on this side here. If only we can get closer right at the time that you want to get closer to this structure, but it does take some time, of course, so we can only speculate for now. And this does seem to be a bit more pronounced with the chroma hue tool to bring out some more shadows or whatnot. There's some interesting designs here and at the top. This really makes you ponder a bit more as to what exactly this panorama entails. And also there's some intricate patterns here. This appears to be a triangular object that's been decayed to a certain extent. There's an interesting pattern here as well. looks very ordered as well, very linear pathways. And these structures at the top on this side are pretty interesting too. And right here, these could be another type of venting system as well, in addition to this side here. All in all, there's always something that pops out after you go over these particular scenarios. And we all know that there's probably a reason why this particular scenario was chosen in the first place. And here we are zooming in at the top of that section. You can see the intricate designs in here, reminiscent of some other panoramas that we've shown in previous videos. And to get more detail out of this, of course, we'd have to get the camera much, much closer. For now, we can only come up with some ideas, as wild as they may be. And of course, these are just some of the particular scenes or whatnot, but you're welcome, as usual, to come up with your own thoughts, whatnot. And until next time, thank you for your time investment on this area, MSL3483, 3485, MRES. Until again, all the best now.
Next up, it's time to arrive at some conclusions or whatnot. And this area, MSL 3483, 3485, MRES, is also unique in that there are certain features to come across after you spend some time on it. And with regards to the pathways or the roads or the buildings, the vents, and the intricate structural designs and or whatnot, it is very intriguing to come up with some further conjecture. And there are implications regarding settlement on Mars. Not only this particular panorama, but of course all of Mars. It's just a matter of focusing in on the areas that you're interested in. And after exploring this panorama, some more detail regarding its features may be of conjecture. And there are some signs of advanced technology in the landform architecture here. And thank you for your time investment and best wishes for your technique of exploration in the future. Thank you for your time.